Hi all, I posted a video yesterday about the new payment system and got a few comments, a few messages about just generally how do I think MTurk is going and how do I find work. So I'm going to put together a few videos on that. Just in general, I'm recording this right after Christmas, and generally holidays are always quiet on MTurk. So take that for what it's worth. But there are definitely a few things you can do, even when it's quiet, to try to find work that you haven't done before or work that may interest you. Although I can't guarantee that the pay will be great, but if you're looking to fill some time, there's definitely a couple of different ways to go about finding work. The main way that I find work is using MTurk Suite Hitfinder, which is what you see on the screen now. And that's what I'll discuss in this video. And I'm doing this real time just to show you exactly how I navigate around it. So I have it at the lowest speed, and when you first turn it on, you'll have to click this button where it says Find Hits, and it will turn up green, and then it will keep cycling through. And essentially, when it comes through, I look first for all the green ones to see if there's anything that interests me. Then I generally move on to the gray ones. So green is obviously they've got good ratings. So I gravitate towards those first. Gray is usually on account of a lack of data. So I check onto those. And then yellow and red, obviously, I look at those afterwards. What I will say is that not only are you looking at the color line, like right here where Ben Peterson, he's green across the board. You've got to look over here on the requester side, because sometimes a requester like this one, this Venitech Solutions, has green and yellow. So you've got to kind of work on a way to decide which ones you're willing to go after based on the color coding. I will say that most of the time people think, oh, double red, it's awful, it's bad. Definitely can be bad, but if you are worried about rejections versus low pay, if you're okay with low pay because again it's quiet and you just want to do some work versus rejections, I shy away from anything that rejects or has a record of rejecting, and I'm more likely to go for something that may be low pay but will fill my time. So the way that I navigate through is I'm gonna pick, we'll just pick this Venitech Solutions like we were talking about. So on the left hand side here, if you click on it, it's going to bring up a pop-up, and it's got basically the information you're looking at. So Turk review, which will let you know here, are there any rejections, are people reporting blocks or rejections, what the average hourly rate is, whether people think that's fair, good, bad, the approximate approval time, and communication under Turk review. So obviously this is just an aggregation of data coming out of Turk review. It's only as good as what we as users put into it. Turk Opticon, which you're probably familiar with, rates on a 1 through 5 scale on the four areas: pay, fast, communication, and fair. And I look at this, I'm generally looking, again, not as concerned with fast. Fair, I'm concerned with if it's low. If it's nothing, I'm not concerned with it, because if you think of it the way that if they're approving everything, then generally you're not going to get a lot of fair ratings, because I think fair generally boils down to you were falsely rejected and they reversed the rejection or something like that. So fair to me is a little bit of a strange category because it only comes up in a limited number of instances. So I'm mainly looking at pay. And so again, this is the information that will pop up, and you kind of have to work on what your standard is, where your bar is for the work that you're willing to do, and whether you're willing to take certain risks. I'm not a fan of rejection, so I don't take that risk as much. I'm more willing to work for lower pay. Additionally, with gray, which if we find somebody that's completely gray, let's see, Jared Daniel, gray is going to have no information, pretty much no information, or very, very, very little information. Here you can see in this case Turk-Opticon is showing 5, 5, 5, no communication on one review, and Turk review has nothing. So again, the gray one here may be a good one to try out. Maybe do like 1 or 2. Don't do a ton of them because you again don't know what the outcome is going to be. But that's an example of, you know, a lot of people in the Turk world say scared money don't make money, meaning if you don't take a risk, you're never going to know. So again, it's just where your bar is. But taking a look at the gray ones and the yellow ones to see what the actual data is going to help you in order to make some decisions. And again, your perception of low pay may not be the same as somebody else's perception of low pay. So again, you really just have to look at the numbers and make that decision yourself. And then again, because these are mostly workers I haven't done before or I haven't done within 45 days, typically if you see green check marks along here, it means you have worked for that requester before. So again, you might want to gravitate towards that because it's a known requester for you. But yeah, that's the basic idea of MTurk Suite and how I use it. I'd be interested in if anybody else has different strategies around it, but that's just the quick and dirty on how I use MTurk Suite. So I'm going to do a couple other videos in the near future just on other ways that I look for work and sort of how I manage my qualifications and things like that. But I don't want any one video to go too long, so here we are again. Comment, like, subscribe, tell me what you need, and I will be putting more videos up as soon as possible. Thanks, everybody.